Hey everyone, and welcome back for another episode in our First Thought series. And today's topic of discussion is the newly announced Batman modern suit version by Hot Toys from the upcoming DC Flash movie. So first thing I'll say, I think this does help to soften some of the disappointment that we felt earlier in the week with the Hot Toys announcement of their Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse line. We'll touch base on those figures more during our weekly recap tomorrow. But going back to this figure, initial impressions are actually pretty good. So first thing I want to discuss is the sculpt or sculpts, because you're getting an unmasked older Keaton and then the fully masked version. Starting with the unmasked, the level of detail here on the face, showing the wrinkles and just all the facial features, is outstanding. But I'm preface this by saying I think I'm in the minority here. I just don't think the likeness is all there. It's very strong, and I think you can see Keaton in it depending on where you look from, but I think it just needs some tweaking. Everything else, paintwork and detail, again, are great, but I think the likeness just needs a little refinement to get it there 100%. But now the mask sculpt is a different story. That is undeniably Michael Keaton beneath the cowl. And I like the interchangeable faceplate since they do give Batman a ton of personality here. Now, reading the description on Sideshow, both sculpts do include the rolling eye system, so I think there's going to be a lot of possibilities for posing here, and they just look great. Next, we got to talk posability. Hot Toys is highlighting that in their promo pics, and it does seem to be a great key feature of the figure because he does look like he's able to pull off some dynamic posing. While we're on the suit, I do also like the modernization of that classic Keaton suit. It seems like a natural evolution from the more animalistic based one we saw in the '89 movie to the armored version in Return. So again, it just seems like a natural progression. And while I do miss the gold utility belt, I can't deny that this black one actually looks really nice. And again, I think he's going to look great on display. Plus, I also like the black on the suit. It's a very shiny black, and again just sets the suit apart, and it still looks striking, which is a big plus. Other nice thing here is they do include an alternate wired cape to create that gliding look. I think that's going to be a really great feature, especially to recreate some of the scenes we're seeing just from the movie trailers, and I'm sure it gets used more often in the movie. Now, the other thing I want to touch on is the special accessory, which is the empty cowl. The accessory itself is really nicely done, and I think it looks great with the figure holding it in hands. But what's interesting here is that they're calling this the first edition exclusive accessory. I'm not sure what that means, to be honest. I mean, they're calling this the modern version, so I'm assuming we're going to get a bunch of other versions. But first edition, I don't know, are they essentially preparing us for a future 2.0 or a re-release? Or is this meant to be more of a timed exclusive accessory like what we got with the Obi-Wan DX and the Vader DX from the same show? Or even the Mighty Thor figure, where they had a time limit to pre-order so you could get those exclusive pieces. I'm not seeing that here, so I'm just curious what that's going to mean in the long run. But overall, even though I had sworn off the DCEU Snyderverse figures, this one I think is going to be coming home with me. Everything I've seen online regarding the movie is that, first off, it's great, and second of all, it's an homage to the history of DC. While I'm upset we're not getting any more Batfleck or Cavill, this feels like a good end to this chapter of the DC cinematic universe before that reboot that's coming our way by James Gunn. So as a figure, it's really tempting, and I think paired with the Jazz Inc. '89 Batmobile, it's gonna look incredible. I think this is probably going to be the last stretch for DC also for a while that Hot Toys is going to be able to make figures from. So I'm expecting a number of releases. Now, will I go all in? I think that depends on the movie. The Keaton Batman, though, almost transcends the movies and just has to come home based on the nostalgia factor. Everyone else, it'll be a wait and see. Although if we do get a Supergirl, I would probably want to pick her up to pose her next to the Cavill Superman. And will we get another Batfleck? Fingers crossed, as that would be sort of a nice end for that character as well. Now for the Flash, I don't know. I haven't been crazy about the character, so that'll be another wait and see. But I am curious to see how this line develops, and I'm excited to see what Hot Toys delivers here. I do think there are some nice possibilities, and again, that nostalgia factor is going to broaden the appeal of these figures. And I think even with the minor complaints I have with the unmasked sculpt, there's no denying this is another showstopper from Hot Toys. And like I said, I will be picking this one up. So what do you think about this announcement? And also, what do you think about the possibilities from this line and the movie? Curious to hear your thoughts as well on this one. And as always, thanks for watching. And if you are enjoying the content, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing, and we'll touch base on the next video.